The great men who built the pyramids were never deprived of magnificence. Their garments were not just clothing, but reflections of power, grace, and timeless beauty. In every statue, we see how simplicity embraced elegance, and how pure linen and flawless lines carried both strength and refinement. Even the humblest attire appears carved in stone like a masterpiece. Every belt, every fold of fabric whispers that the ancient Egyptians transformed what was ordinary into a symbol of eternal majesty. Let's start with the most famous and common piece of men's clothing in ancient Egypt, the Egyptian shendit. The shendit was a symbol of both elegance and simplicity. It was worn by men in ancient Egypt, from farmers to kings, and was usually made of pure white linen. This wrapped kilt around the waist became a distinctive marker of Egyptian identity, reflecting the Egyptians' skill in weaving and precision in design. Among kings and nobles, however, the shendit took on a more luxurious form, with pleats, decorations, and embroidered belts, showcasing power and majesty. Ancient Egyptian fashion was deeply inspired by nature, not only in the fabrics they used, but also in the powerful symbols they carried. One of the most striking outfits we find painted on tomb walls is the priest's robe made of leopard skin. Look closely, and you can see the leopard's head resting on the shoulder, a symbol of strength, protection, and a deep link to the afterlife. This sacred garment was usually worn by some priests, the ones who led important funerary rituals and stood as mediators between humans and the gods. Beneath the leopard skin, part of the classic white linen kilt peeks through, reminding us of the simple yet elegant dress of everyday Egyptians. This was far more than clothing. It was a statement of sacred power. And what's fascinating is that this very image appears again and again in ancient Egyptian art, showing just how important and timeless it truly was. Let's take a look at how the ancient Egyptians represented the attire of the god Osiris. Osiris had a remarkable presence in Egyptian art, and this was clearly reflected in his garments, which were rich in deep symbolism. Most of the time, Osiris appeared in tight-fitting clothes that covered his entire body, resembling mummy wrappings as a symbol of death and rebirth. Sometimes his attire was decorated with geometric patterns or colorful scales, while at other times it was adorned with various other motifs and designs. As for the god Horus, let's see how the ancient Egyptian artist represented him. His clothing was usually simple, but filled with symbols. A short linen kilt that expressed Egyptian identity, sometimes adorned with a decorated belt or royal necklaces reflecting his divine status. In some depictions, Horus appears wearing military attire or holding a scepter as a symbol of strength and victory over the forces of evil. Let's take a closer look at this attire. The scene depicts a figure with the head of a sacred being, which clearly shows that the clothing was not for daily use, but was connected to religious and symbolic rituals. The garment is filled with repeated decorative motifs, something impractical for everyday wear, yet designed as a symbol of life, fertility, and renewal. Such clothing appeared in funerary rituals, temple ceremonies, and in inscriptions that recorded scenes of victory and protection. And this garment also appears in other reliefs where human figures are wearing it. The kings of ancient Egypt were sometimes depicted in the garments of the gods, or with the same decorations, to emphasize their share in divinity and divine power. In some reliefs, the kings are shown performing rituals before the gods while wearing these same ceremonial garments. I hope you found this information useful, but neither the information nor the outfits are over yet. So stay tuned for a new part where we'll continue showcasing these icons. Don't forget to subscribe and like so you won't miss any updates. Bye.